listening to
The Painkillers with Marquis
and AD.
This is your dose of getting rid of all your pain. We are going to
Talk your pain away.
Man, you already know, man. It's so good to see you, man.
It's good to see you too, bro.
Man, I'm super excited, bro. But that goes back to that,
wow.
you know?
No, for real.
And
wow.
I think for me, like, you know, yours was a friend, yours was a family member. My hardest
what was yours?
Delete, breakup, or cut off
Let's hear it.
was the false version of me, bro.
Ooh.
It was the version of me, bro, that everybody in church knew. It was the version of me that everybody knew since I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And like these last 2 years, it's like everybody who never saw this side of me, like, who is this man? Where did he come from?
Wow.
What's going on with you? Why are you changing? This and that. And what I learned in this season, bro, is that when I was trying to cut off other people, I was still left with that false version of me. So when I cut off this false version of me, instead of taking so much time to deal with the external people started to fall off by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped calling, they stopped texting, they stopped trying to hit me up because they didn't like who I really was now.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started,
Actually, who you really always been.
Yeah. But the church taught me how not to be that.
Yeah.
Whoa, man.
How to be something else.
Jesus Christ.
But now I'm like, I don't care now. Like, I'll post my car. Like the church told me, don't post your car. You can't drive this. You can't bring that to the church. Like,
bro.
And so we walking around pretending not to have things and not to be certain things because of all that. We're going to have to go over our time on this one right here. Cause like, I feel something on this one. But, like,
for real.
You get what I'm saying?
Man, but I'm telling you, man, the reality of it is that we can, and all of us have been in the seat of senior pastor.
Yeah.
Mm. We can coach you, preach you, prophesy to you, to live your best life, to have everything God wants for you.
Yep.
We can teach you how to do that, but we can't do that.
We can't do that.
We can't do that.
And as soon as we do it,
we can't drive the best.
Yeah.
We can't live the best.
Yep.
Because as soon as we do it, they taking money.
Yeah.
All they doing is. And I had to look at it like, like this. My one of my closest elders, he Drew, man, I love him. He told me, he said, you've done your job.
Yeah.
He said, if we didn't get business tools, business principles, life application, spiritual growth, he said, it ain't your fault.
Yeah.
It's ours. And then I began to look at it like this. You take siblings that are raised in the same household, get the same lessons, hear the same speeches, get the same whoopings, do all of that stuff. And you got one that goes off to be,
Successful.
CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and you got another one that goes out here and gets in the street, gets arrested, Do you penalize the parent?
Wow. Yeah.
It just means
the same parent. Yeah.
It just means somebody else had the acclimate to apply what was being taught to them, and someone else didn't. It's the same way with the church organization.
Yeah.
That because people be like, you out here driving in this, you out here driving this, but you got church members that's driving in the Corolla, but I also got church members that's driving in the Bentley.
Yeah.
Bingo.
So what I'm saying is, don't try to penalize me because somebody didn't apply the principles of faith or whatever the case may be, as if I'm not giving it.
And then what's the issue? Like, why is it that we applaud the NFL, the NBA, the Facebook, whoever,
everything else,
to have whatever they want, drive whatever they want, glamorize and say that's what you want to be when you grow up. That's what you want to be when you grow up. That's what you want to be when you grow up. But then we ain't supposed to have nothing. We ain't supposed to. Like, I remember, and I'm gonna let you go, AD, but I remember, bro, like, I had just bought this amazing car, and the thing about me is I was bivocational, so I had business and I had ministry. But I went into ministry that was funded from my businesses when I started.
Absolutely.
I didn't have a big church behind me that planted me or gave me a whole bunch of money. I used my own money, right? But I remember I bought this. I said, I'm gonna buy this car. I bought this car, bro. No lie. And I was so scared to drive it to church because of what everybody say, right? But I always been into cars since I was little. Like before I ever had money, my mom would buy me little freaking Matchbox cars. I used to buy little model cars and put them together, glue them and all that. Like cars has always been a thing for me. I wanted to be an architect before I ever got into ministry. That's what I was going into high school for, I wanted to go to college for. So ministry was never, so the two things that have always been in me since I was a kid, architecture and cars are still my thing. That's who I am. Yeah. So you want me to hide that I love cars and I can afford them and buy them. And I bought this car, bro, no lie. And I was like, I want to drive to church, but I know what's going to happen. So what I did was I went and bought tape to match the paint, and I covered up the name of the car, the logo, every time I drove to church. No lie, I remember one of the guys came to me one day, older guy. He came to me, he said, let me tell you something, Pastor. I said, what's up? He said, don't you ever cover up what God blessed you with. He said, take that tape off of there. Why do you put that tape on there? He's like, these people can't handle the kind of favor you walk in and what you do, then they don't belong here. And he ripped the tape off of the logo, off of the name and everything.
I'm glad he did that.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
but that's the freedom, though.
That's that freedom.
Like, and that's the thing. I don't think that. And when you talk about like unmasking yourself, a lot of times we need someone to come in to give us the okay.
That's that relationship.
That relationship. Man.
Give us the okay to be okay.
Yes, man.
Like no, like you can do that. You know, and you ain't gotta apologize for it.
Facts.
It's just who you are.
That was one of the hardest things for me. I was telling you guys earlier. I have always been I don't like to call myself a fashion person because I don't know brands. I don't know none of that. I just see stuff and I like what I like.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be that people look and say that's
fashion.
Some kind of fashion, right? Yeah. But I've always been into it. So before the high-rise pants came out, like I was into that before. And I'm talking about in 1999, 2000, okay? Before the stonewashed jeans, before the distressed jeans, all of that, man. I was in all of that, but I suppressed it, man, because the people that were around me, they didn't get it, right? You get what I'm saying? And so for me, like you said, it was your car. For me, it was just kind of like fashion. You know what I'm saying? It was the things that I wore. I always liked nice things. You put two things in front of me, more than likely I'm gonna pick the thing that's most expensive with or without the price tag. You know, that's just kind of my nature, man. And I do think that it takes being around people who are above and beyond where you are, or who are where you want to go, and who are into similar things, man, in order for you to do that. Man, there's no telling what I could have been in the fashion arena, even in music and theater. When I graduated at 17. In music and theater, man, when I graduated high school, I had gotten a scholarship to go to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. I could have chosen between New York or here, I believe. Could have chosen between those two schools. Man, my folks was like, no, you ain't going to no New York, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up in a city called Tuscaloosa. In which I thank God for, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate my life, but just, I mean, who's to say that had I had the right type of relationship, you know, the right type of mentorship around me, who saw further than the people who were around me at the time, where I could have been in fashion or in entertainment, you know what I'm saying? So.
That's so good, man.
Yeah, man. But like, I think, you know, it boils down to we got to be in environments and with other patients that will expose us to more. Like that's what I think it boils down to, man. I look at exposure like the neck on a white t-shirt. Once it's stretched, it can't go back. It can't go back. And I think that once we are exposed, like we just can't go back. You know what I'm saying? And I think that exposure changes everything. When you're exposed to the right things, right people, right environments, and then also understanding that we could be exposed later in life and we still have not missed a beat. Because like I think that that's a lot, like even with myself, like, you know, tapping into acting now and executive producing projects. I feel like I'm so far behind the cusp. But I'm like, no, like I'm right where I need to be, man. And I, you know, like and for the patients that are listening, man, I tell you this, that I remember one time I was, you know, like, I love the euphoria of going back and watching old shows that I watched growing up. And Family Matters was one of them. And my grandmother loved Family Matters. My granny loved Family Matters. So now when I watch it, I think about my grandmother, you know, and I like going back and watching the seasons from season 1 and seeing how it panned out. And in season 1, Steve Urkel was probably in 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the season 2, he shows up a little bit more. By season 3, he's literally a key character.
Yeah.
Season 4, like then he became the man.
Yeah.
Right.
The show was centered around him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had to realize, like, even in my life, like, you're right where you need to be. It don't matter when you hit the stage.
Yeah.
But the fact is, when you hit the stage, that you're ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's and that's what I think, man. You know, this is kind of organically taking its own.
No, that's so good because you know, think about it. If that show had initially started with him, it probably would have been called Urkel.
Yep.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, at the end of the day, man, sometimes you have to experience certain things at certain speeds.
Yep.
Because you probably couldn't handle it.
Yes, sir.
Had it came to you too fast, too quick, too easy.
Sir. Yes,
you appreciate it so much more, man. You know?
Sir.
That's what
Like
keeps
I
me
said,
stable.
Yeah, me too, bro.
That's
like,
what keeps
I
me
feel
stable.
like I said to somebody, I said, if I would have lived like I'm living now when I was a teenager, I probably wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
But now that I'm wiser, smarter, more mature, and then have the money to get myself out of trouble if I ever get in trouble, it's a whole different paradigm, you know? And I think a lot of times we have to look at it from the angle, AD, that you are right where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. So for me, what really helps me, like even now when it comes to fashion, so y'all know I make the bracelets and stuff. Man, anything I make, if I post it, it sells like that.
Yeah.
Everything I've auditioned for, every single thing I've auditioned for, and I've auditioned against people who've been in theater all their lives. I mean, people who are just diehard theater musical people. Everything I've auditioned for, I've always not only got a role, but I got like the lead role. So those kind of things help me to be confident in where I am right now. I'm okay. Like I told y'all earlier, man, look, I could die and go to heaven from Huntsville. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that that being, you know, in the right place, it helps to kind of develop the character that you would not have had you went there ahead of time. You would not have been ready for it. I appreciate my journey.
Yeah, and we all have to. And y'all may not know this, he ain't gonna tell y'all, but he is the first cousin of the classic man himself, Jordana.
Man, come on.
I'm a classic.
Come on,
Hey, you can be too if you look this
Bro.
clean. I'm a classic.
I can't tell you how much I hear that, man, like all the time. And then before he had the little hair thing, I had it, right?
Yeah.
So, and I still had it like when he came out, man. So I would walk in my son's school. The whole school would sing the classic man song, man. It's crazy.
Listen, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think it's important that, you know, even in those avenues that we, in our journey, that we make sure that we're connecting with the right friends, the right relationships, the right connections that can help us become and nurture and really push and endorse who we really are.
Yeah, who we really are.
Who you really are. If you are a fashion guy, be a fashion guy. And it doesn't matter what people say, how they feel about it, because people's context is limited to their exposure.
Absolutely.
When I go to other countries, bro, like I see stuff, I be like, oh, in the United States, they would call that this. But over there, it's normal.
Absolutely.
So we only become as far as our context, as far as our exposure is. And, you know, if you're into that, then bring people around you that will allow you to be that and the best version of that.
Bingo.
That will really become a mechanism of pushing and growing and nurturing and watering. And I think that's where we're going to get away from the pain that we have inflicted on ourselves based on other people not allowing us to be who we're called to be.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that comes through friendships, that comes through relationships, that comes through connectivity. Like we were created not to be islands, but to be in connection with each other. He said two are better than one. Like, we have to understand that everybody else knows that. But us.
So I think I'd like to speak to something which would be poor connectivity.
Oh yeah.
Relationships have been very challenging for me because of poor connectivity in my childhood. So there would be times where I would connect with people, share information with people, you know, expect a type of relationship, man, and just be hurt, you know. Even in the church, man, I would talk to my elders and tell them what I'm going through. The next thing I know, their wife and their kids repeating what I told them. You know what I'm saying? And I think for a lot of people who might be listening, that fear of connection might be something that's really been holding them back from connecting to the right kind of people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So can y'all?
Yeah,
y'all
we got to kill
that?
that pain, man. Like, everybody has a context, and I'm glad you opened up and shared that on the show, man. It's that at the end of the day, you cannot live in the fear of what has happened. You can't. And I'm glad you used the word poor connectivity. And here's what I saw. As soon as you said it, bro, this is what I saw. Like, just because the socket is in the wall doesn't mean it has power.
Wow. Wow.
Sometimes the breaker is tripped.
Right.
And you can keep on plugging it in. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Pun intended.
Like, for real.
Legit.
And you just got to be able to just remove yourself from that particular socket and find the one that gives you the power you need.
Yep.
So you may not have gotten it when you was younger. I may not have gotten it in my 20s. You may not have gotten it in your teenage years, but don't stop trying to plug in.
Yeah. Right.
Until you find that source of power that gives your life what it needs.
Yep.
And the only way we get there is by opening up and trying again.
That's it.
And when we do that, I think we got to know that it's like a baby learning how to walk.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't just start making connections and know how to make them. You know, it's a process in learning how to make connections work. You know what I'm saying?
And don't go around just plugging into everything either. You know what I'm saying? Like, use discernment, use your intuition, like, be careful, pray about it, make sure you know. I mean, but just don't shut yourself down. And sit in a dark room talking about, well, I'm just not plugging into nothing.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Because the reality of it is, man, like, you know, nothing is wrong with the plug. Everything may be wrong with the socket. And a lot of times we'll feel like something is wrong with us.
Right.
And it's technically not. And even when you talk about, like, you know, like a child, like what I love is the way our body works. You know, like with a child, you know, if you take a child and they, you know, they're trying to walk, they're trying to learn how to walk, they're between the ages of 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3, and then they're trying to learn how to walk. Your bones aren't developed until you're a certain age.
Right.
So literally God made the body to where it made concessions for your falls.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
You can't break a bone.
Here's another nugget, y'all.
At 2.
I'm telling you, man.
You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you legit can't break a bone at 2. Your bones aren't developed yet. That's why they like, oh, drink milk so your bones will be strong, right? Because your bones are still being developed. So
they're majority water.
Water. So when you fall, bones can't be broken. And I think that that's the same way. Even though we may be adults, that I think that through where we're trying to learn connectivity, and we're still like, there's a concession for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may have hurt, but it didn't break you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It may have bothered you, but it didn't break you. So still keep trying to make that connectivity.
And as we said earlier, it doesn't mean that you or the other person are necessarily evil. Y'all just might not be equal.
It's just,
you know what I'm saying?
Just not,
bro.
May not be evil, but y'all just not
be
equal.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because let me tell you this, and then we're going to try to wrap this up. But when I leave the United States of America and go overseas, what worked in my house as far as a plug doesn't work over there.
You got to have an adapter.
You got to have.
You got to have an adapter.
Come on, patience.
Yes, sir.
You got to adapt,
an adapter.
So we're getting ready to wrap this one up, though.
Yeah.
So I got my prescriptions for the day that I'm getting ready to hand out to the patients. And AD, I'm going to let you go and give out your prescriptions to the patients today, too. So you go ahead and tell the patients what your prescription is for the day.
I think the prescription for the day is this. Don't stop trying to love, open up, or create connections with people based upon past experiences. I think the overall gist of it is, if it didn't work there, it doesn't mean it won't work here.
So good.
And a lot of times, nothing is wrong with what you're doing. Everything is wrong with the environment in which that you're doing it. So like, if I oftentimes, like, since being out here and then being like, when I travel to Florida and I see palm trees. And I'm like, why aren't palm trees
everywhere, right?
Everywhere. They're beautiful. It just looks so amazing. And then I looked it up, and palm trees can't handle seasons.
It can only grow in certain environments.
They can only grow in certain environments. So maybe nothing was wrong with you trying to connect.
Yeah.
Everything was wrong with the environment you were trying to connect to.
So
that's the reason why I couldn't grow.
That's good, man.
So don't
Hey,
stop.
that's AD's prescription. Y'all better go fill it.
Yes, sir.
Here is my prescription to all of the patients that are listening to me right now. Every now and then there comes a season in your life where the doctor has to make the hard choice and cutting something off.
Yeah.
And so my prescription to you today is you're going to have to make the hard decision and you're going to have to share the hard news.
Louise.
Whenever a doctor has to tell a family that this person has passed on, they're deceased, they're gone on, it's hard. They don't want to do it, but somebody has to do it.
Yes,
so
sir.
today I'm giving you a prescription. I'm putting it in your hand. You have permission to go out there after today and let those know who needs to know
Yes, sir.
their potential in your life has expired.
Yes, sir.
Wait.
Yes.
I got a prescription.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
I got
the
a
painkiller
prescription.
Reg
Okay,
got a prescription, y'all.
All right. And this is all I want to say. Know that every relationship starts and ends with you. You got to start with you.
Yeah.
So like you mentioned on your last podcast, you got to spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
Before I met my wife and married my wife, I went a whole year, which was the first time ever in my life since I was in the first grade. I was in college at this time without a girlfriend. First time.
Wow. Hold on, this boy done had a girlfriend since he was in first grade.
Since I was in first grade, bro. Sometimes more than one, okay?
That boy said, I'm going to get your milk.
Do you like me? Circle yes or no.
I'm going to pay for your milk.
Always, man. Her name was Priscilla.
cookie.
She lived across the street
My
from
mama
me,
named Priscilla. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Hold up. Look.
Yes, man. I always and that 1 year I went without a girlfriend, and I would go to the movies by myself. I'll take myself out to eat. I take myself wherever I went. Yeah. I began to know me.
Facts.
Then I began to like me.
Yeah.
Then I began to express myself as me. And guess what? Yeah. Then more people were attracted to me.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man. Well, there you go. Patients, y'all got 3 prescriptions today.
That's it.
Dr. AD, Dr. Boone, and Dr. Reg. All the painkillers in the room. I hope that you take these prescriptions, apply to your life. Go get them filled, y'all.
Go get them filled.
I don't
It's your
know.
prescription
It's your
now.
prescription.
Fill it. It's your prescription now. Fill it.
Go fill it. This has been Painkillers with
You know
Marquis
and AD.
Hey, we're talking your pain away. Until next time, y'all, go get them prescriptions filled. Don't forget you can join us every Monday night on Medication Mondays on Clubhouse at 9 p.m. It's an extended conversation from the Painkillers podcast. Clubhouse, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Medication Mondays.